let's look at some other really simple one-liners that can be useful in these types of recipes. These are all tickle code. So what I've done here is drop down a no-op, and one of the tricks you can do in order for just debugging these things is use a no-op and the label field, and it will expand that tickle code. Or you can also use a backdrop and put it in the comments field of the backdrop and use that to expand the tickle code. Now, it won't always work depending on the context. One of the things we're doing in this particular no-op is we're trying to get the name of the topmost node connected to this node. And of course, since backdrops have no input, that wouldn't work. So I used a no-op here in that case. So the no-op is connected to our read node, and I'm using this little macro here to get the knob top node. This is a special function defined in the Nuke's built-ins. This is not a native tickle code bit here, the knob and the top node things. But this will look and try to figure out the topmost node of the DAG, the actual comp tree. And that will typically be whatever. Let's I'll show the input here, and let's bring in another file to create a slightly more complicated situation here. I'll bring in the non-proxy versions of this. So if we had one of these over the other, dropping down a merge node here. So B, and you see this one's HD and this one's half HD. This will be whatever is connected to the B pipe here. So whatever flows through all the way through the comp on the B pipe, that's what it will find as the topmost node. You'll see it's detecting the HD version, which is the one flowing through the B pipe. So this could be a little confusing depending on what you intend to do, but if your goal was to maybe name the output of your comp based on the name of the input, you could automatically do that. For example, in the argv example we came up with, you could essentially feed argv into the read node, argv0, and not even worry about creating an output name for it. Essentially, pull the name of the input and then strip off the extension, as we're doing here, and then create the name of the right node. So let's look at some of those examples. What this first example is doing is only getting the directory that the read node, the top node, is in. It's not giving the file name, so it's stripping off the file name. So it's saying find the top node, the file field of the top node, and then using this file, give me the dir name. It's an argument to that. So it's saying this is the file name or the field in the file name, and then just give me the dir name. And I'll put these all in the notes for this week so that you can have these little snippets you can play with, and I'll send an example script as well. If we want just the file name, you do the same thing. You're getting the top node's file field, but now you're stripping off the tail using this file command. So now it's stripping off and finding just the name of the input file. And then if we want just the base name, which unfortunately we'll leave the numbers in as well, we could strip off the base name. So we do the same thing. We find the top node and tail it. So that's basically just this command in here. Found the tail. Then we use another invocation of file to get only the root name, which strips off the extension. So you can see how this is basically just almost like a text filtering exercise. We're just basically reformatting text. It's a glorified find and replace almost, but we're using this file command, which is kind of smart about reformatting file names in particular. Then we want to strip off the numbers as well. We could use the split command in this particular case, splitting on the dot, the period that is between those file numbers. This could break. You might have to create it a different way if you were using an underscore between the file numbers and the name, but we're doing the same thing. We're finding the topmost node. We're finding its root name here. And then we're splitting it into an array by the dots, which this only has one dot in it. And then we're taking the very first index number, 0, which is the base name. We could also get the extension very quickly off of it as well using file extension. So there's a real shortcut that you could do doing that. Now there's a couple other examples I want to show you. These are all really handy depending on what you need to do, being able to split things, being able to extract file names and stuff from stuff. You can create all kinds of automation just with these one-liners. Here are some additional really helpful one-liners. For example, one of the great things about Nuke is that it's very context aware. So in the case of that Python script we looked at earlier, it was aware of the context in which it was being invoked to some extent. And the same is true for TCL. So let's say, for example, we want to get the name of the node. We can just ask for the value of the name. And because Nuke knows, or TCL is aware of the context it's being invoked within Nuke, it will say, okay, they must mean the name of this node, not some other node. So hence we can get back the name of that node. It's also got a couple of other great convenience features in the L index, and one of them is the ability to call the last index in the array. So let's say that you had a lot of underscores in the name here. That might confuse it if there was some other strategy for picking off the last little segment here, in which case we have a version string that we want to pick off. Well, you can use this shortcut end to pick off the last index value in an array. You can similarly, because of the context awareness, get values from any knob in the node. So for example, we can ask for the value in this bookmark, and it will tell us, yes, it's checked off. If we turn it off, it will say false, it's not checked off. You can grab the Z order there, and it will automatically pick that up. And it can even do that context awareness for user nodes with the same kind of shortcut. So I created a version number here, a user node that says version number. Version number. So let's fix that, version number. And I'm calling it here, asking for that. That's the name of the knob, not the user label version. And there we have it. It's just picking that value straight up, no problem. This is a great way that you can create a little field like this. Let's say you wanted to just increment something from a simple field like this that you kept in a no-op or a big group node or something. You could do that. You can get the fully qualified name of this script, same kind of thing. Now we're moving into more of a global scope. There's a hidden knob called root, and we can ask for the name, which is the name of this script, the whole name of it. And we can use all the tricks that we were looking at earlier to sort of chop it up to get parts of it. So let's say we only want the base name of the script minus the extension. We don't want that if we were going to use that to create, say, the name of an output file. We can just get the base name of the script. There you have it. It's all formatted up, and you can stuff that into your some expression someplace in a write node and make a really tidy workflow out of that. Using the same trick, we can also split off the version string off the very end. If we wanted to, let's say, have multiple outputs that didn't have this base name in it or were built up from this base name, we could nibble off pieces of it and then build up different names. So these are all one-liners you can use if you're crafty about it, and many of the examples I've seen in production are essentially using strategies like this. It's just stacking these things to create a bigger system where the automation all pretty much works as long as everything is structured. That's why in pipelines, keeping things named consistently is important, because a lot of these types of tools built on simple automation like this have a preconceived idea about how they should be fed. So you don't want to break things by feeding them funny characters or inconsistent names. I hope you get some mileage out of this.